My next guest has just experienced his first month of freedom in 21 years. Angel Echevarria was arrested back in 1994 and convicted 2 years later of a murder in Lynn, Massachusetts. He was given a sentence of life without the possibility of parole, but always maintained his innocence. Then last month, he was released during a bail hearing after a judge determined the prosecution's case was weak and that his lawyer made errors that could have cost him his case decades ago. And a few days ago, prosecutors announced they would not retry him. And Angel Echevarria joins me now to talk more about that, along with Florence Graves. She's the founding director of the Schuster Institute for Investigative Journalism at Brandeis University, which has been investigating this case for the past 10 years. Florence, good to see you. Angel, good to meet you.
Thanks for having us.
When you heard the words almost 2 decades ago, guilty, 2 years ago, the bad part, we'll get to the good part, what went through your head?
Oh, my God. Like the world came over me.
And did you at that moment say, I'm going to be stuck in a jail cell and not see my children for the rest of my life?
No.
You had hope?
Yeah.
Why?
Big time. Because I believe in God, you know. I always think positive, you know.
Even though you were sent away. And
I always think I'm going to get out.
You did?
Yeah.
And it took you 10 years to find them, yes?
I know.
Look at the smile on his face.
Yeah.
10 years. And how did he find you, Florence? How did this happen? How did this connection happen?
Well, actually, when we decided to start the Justice Brandeis Law Project, someone from a Brandeis grad from New England Innocence Project contacted us and said, we have cases. At the time, they only did DNA cases. And he said, we have cases where there's not testable DNA and no one's going to look at them. Would you like to look at them? And so he got permission from Angel to send his stuff to, package of stuff. And that's how we got it.
And when I read about this case long before I met, it's one of these things, I hate to sound naive. It's so clear objectively that the alleged eyewitness cooked the information, that the lawyer was totally inept, that the prosecution refused to disclose information about the eyewitness identifying some. How did this go on so long? How did it all fall through the cracks like this?
Well, Angel did have an appeal, and ready for this? There was an appeal based on the eyewitness being not competent to really be testifying as an eyewitness. He couldn't tell time, he couldn't tell distances.
He didn't know his birth date.
He didn't know his birth date. He didn't know the day or the year, and that was appealed. And the SJC, the Supreme Judicial Court, ruled that he was good enough.
And how did that happen?
And they said this was many years ago, at least 10 years ago, and the ruling was that we even let children testify, and we credit the testimony of some people who are disabled, even sometimes, and so I think that case, Angel's case, that case has been relied on in other cases since.
And by the way, this lawyer we mentioned, just to think that there's not bias here, months after he represented, and I use the term loosely, he was suspended from the bar. Right. So I asked you the bad story when you heard the word guilty. A while ago, when you heard them say you were a free man after 2 decades, what was in your heart? What was in your head?
Oh my God, I was so happy and sad at the same time because all my family, my children.
5 children, yes?
Yeah, they're real big, bigger than me.
Your daughter, in a beautiful photograph, you're hugging in court. She was 1 year old. Is that how old?
6 months. 6 months years old.
6 months.
6 months. 6 months.
Why? I've read you say repeatedly you're not bitter. Why are you not bitter for being wrongly imprisoned for almost half your life?
A lot of people ask me the same question. Maybe God believe in God, I always leave it to Him, to do justice for me.
Do you really? Is that really? You don't feel any anger towards these people?
No, not really. The only thing that bothers me because the Commonwealth, they're not apologizing. Sorry, we made a mistake.
Well, they're not apologizing. They vacated the judgment. They haven't not a formal dismissal.
No, they have.
Oh, they have dismissed.
No,
so they're not going to proceed
totally
with this thing.
Dismissed, right. He is now totally free.
So is anybody going to pay a price? Will there be an apology? Will there be litigation?
Rarely do prosecutors apologize. And the Massachusetts case of Dennis Mayer, the prosecutor did apologize. And Dennis told me that enabled him really to move on. it is all over the country. Usually they will not apologize, and that's the one thing when I go to conferences, innocence conferences, that's what they want.
And that's what you want, is it just an apology?
Yeah.
To shake your hand and say, we're sorry.
Yeah.
And that'll be
Maybe
enough for you.
Maybe, yeah.
What has life been like for you since you got out? How hard is it to adjust to living outside of a cage, Angel? No, I'm serious.
I feel very great.
It has been?
Yeah.
Father's Day.
I can share with my friends and family. Yeah.
Do you have fears that after, is it hard adjusting to living?
Sometimes, yeah.
Like what?
In the nighttime.
Really? You don't go out at night?
No.
Why?
I don't know why. Maybe like something gonna happen.
Did you get a special Father's Day present from your daughter?
Yes, I did.
What happened? What happened? Look, I can't believe you could laugh about it.
Yeah.
Tell us what happened, Angel.
She told me that I sent you a letter.
She was outside your door and she
Yeah,
called on
somebody
her
she
cell
said
phone.
that-
As if she was in New York,
Yes.
right?
Yeah,
He didn't know
came
she
to
was
Lynn.
coming.
Yeah, she told me, Dad, I sent you a letter. I said, yeah, go check your mailbox. I said, today's Sunday. I said, yo, go check anyone.
So you did, and?
When we were outside to get a letter, she was out there waiting for me.
How hard is it to I know your kids have how hard has it been to reconnect with your family, with your children?
Oh, we getting, we're trying to share the time that we lost, Little hard, but, we're getting there.
You know, Florence, you and your colleagues did incredible work here, and I know that Angel will be the first
Yeah,
to say
I
it.
really appreciate that.
But
big time.
And I really appreciate it as a
Yeah.
citizen. But I say, it's almost the luck of the draw that
It is.
he found you. Is there any reason sitting here we shouldn't think that there are many more Angel Echeverrias sitting in a prison
No, there's
somewhere?
no reason you shouldn't think that, because I believe there are.
So what's the
And that's what
takeaway? What's the
experts
moral of the
think.
story?
Well, the bottom line is that the people who are usually wrongfully convicted, the vast majority of them, the bottom line is they're poor. They don't have the resources, they're not connected. You're not going to be wrongfully convicted. I'm not going to be wrongfully convicted. They're poor, and then Hispanic or African American, a greater percentage than they're represented in the population. And so what does that say about our society? It speaks to that they're disadvantaged. We see Black Lives Matter. We see all of these protests. This is a huge part of it. The wrongfully convicted, the wrongfully arrested. This is all part of a system.
Angel, I wish you a healthy and happy life with your family.
Thank you.
It's
Thank
very
you
good
very
to
much.
meet you.
Yeah, I
Florence,
deserve that.
congratulations
Thank
on your
you
work.
so
I
much.
really appreciate it.
you
I
for
really
having
think
us.
Florence and my lawyer, they did a great job.
Thank you for saying that.